My problem is with that defense. I don't think that defense is going to stop Josh Allen, especially if T.J. Watt's not there, which he's not going to be. Might not be back for Tampa. You have the whole secondary that's on the injury report. I'm sure you're going to get Minka. He's going to be available. Sutton's going to play. Wallace is going to play. Terrell Edmonds might be the one that's really only up in there because he's dealing with a concussion. But that's where I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think that you have good reason to be worried about it because what Josh Allen already is for the Bills is what Steelers fans are hoping Kenny Pickett can even come close to approaching when he starts to develop, and that's a force multiplier. Josh Allen makes everybody around him not just better, but a lot better. He didn't have his best game by any stretch against the Ravens, but his ability on the ground willed them back into that game and got them a win in the slop in Baltimore with a big assist, of course, from John Harbaugh. But that guy stresses you in every single way, and so does that offense, whether you're healthy or your secondary's banged up like the Steelers are. I think Josh Allen just presents a unique set of challenges. I think the guy's an MVP caliber player, and I think he's going to have a field day probably with Diggs. I just don't really see how you stop Buffalo's offense if you're this version of the Steelers' defense, which is to say, what have you said, Richie? Ordinary on inside the huddle? They're ordinary without Watt. You look more and more prescient by the day there. They're going to have to dial up some schemes to try to beat him, but if they weren't willing to do that with Zach Wilson late in the game against the Jets, I don't know how they expect to do it here against a guy that's good enough to beat anything they throw at him.
Some would say that ordinary might be a compliment. They've played really bad. Now, I can't even think of the last time they gave up a double-digit lead
against double-digit lead against Zach Wilson coming off 6 weeks of inactivity and rust. Honest to God, that's one of the worst things that could have happened is them blowing that lead. Very unexpected. Kenny Pickett had a part to play in that. He threw an interception when they were trying to run out the clock and maybe get one more little insurance field goal or something, but still, the drive before that where Wilson cuts it to 20-17, it's just inexplicably bad defense by them, and it's a harbinger of some potentially very bad things to come in this game, Richie.
All right, I don't think the upset are in the cards. Kenny Pickett did it his first start at Pitt, beating second-ranked Miami. I don't think it's going to happen here. They don't have the defense. But if they were to do it, it would be a high-scoring game. You and I talked about this today. The Steelers' offense would have to put up something like 37 points to have a shot at winning this game.
Yeah, I think they have to be in the 30s to have a shot at winning, and I think they probably need a special teams touchdown, which makes me happy that Gunnar Olszewski's not going to be returning punts because he'd probably be more likely to create points for the Bills' special teams at this juncture.
Well, it's Steven Sims' job now, and we got to take a break. Back with your phone call. Some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.